As I've mentioned, we are connected via Zoom. So the most fundamental question, Wendy, is should we? Is that a smart idea to be connected via Zoom these days?
Yeah, it's one of those questions that everybody's asking themselves because virtual platforms, it's the name of the game. It's what we do because we telework. But right about now, we're not just using it to telework. We are using Zoom both personally and professionally. We're using it for virtual happy hours. We're using it to connect with long lost family members. We have a Sunday Zoom family room in my family, and there's all kinds of reasons that you might ask yourself that question. Is this really the best platform from a privacy standpoint? So this month, there is a possible potential class action being gathered right now, as far as plaintiffs go, for investors that claim that Zoom misrepresented the risk to privacy. And we know that because you remember all of the Zoom bombing that went on a couple of weeks ago. It was big news, and it was something that Zoom didn't anticipate. But should they have anticipated it? And when they revealed, as far as what kind of privacy they did have to those investors, did they misrepresent anything? So it'll be interesting to see if a lawsuit like this goes anywhere, because I don't know about you, but most of us wish we'd invested in Zoom a couple of months ago. We're not sorry we did. We're sorry we didn't.
The number of people I've talked to who can quote me what the Zoom stock was last fall and what it is now and how their retirement would have been entirely different. It's amazing that people had checked this out. And there are a lot of other competitors out there. Google now has its own competitor. What obligation, what duty did Zoom have to its shareholders who, again, invest in good faith in this publicly traded company?
Well, the short answer is that any company has a duty to be forthcoming and honest about what they can and can't provide in terms of assurances, particularly about privacy, because that's what we care about when we're using a virtual platform. But in terms of what could they have anticipated, should they have known that the Zoom bombing was going to become a thing? Should they have known that there would be other companies that would profit from the material that we share when we use Zoom? That might be a more difficult question. But what Zoom has done between the time they realized there were some issues and today is become more transparent, not only in terms of what they do to ensure the privacy of users, but also in terms of who they do and don't share customer information with. Because we want to know that if we're deciding to use Zoom for our meetings and our happy hours, we want to know if they're sharing with Facebook and LinkedIn, for example. That actually came up in the Zoom process. So we want to be able to not only trust some sort of a company like this for what they are going to do with our material, but also trust that they're not going to share it with people we wouldn't want it shared with.